Hello, my name is Chris and today I want to talk about smoking dreams. About those dreams we can have about smoking, not just when we're first quitting, but sometimes months, even years after we've quit. I want to offer my thoughts, ideas, suggestions on why smoking dreams are harmless, what might be going on in our unconscious mind when we're dreaming about smoking, and how sometimes dreaming about smoking can actually be helpful to us in helping us to maintain a long happy life without cigarettes and tackle some of the stresses and problems that we may be facing in our daily lives. Before I do that, I just want to very quickly tell you about something very exciting that's happening over in our Finding Freedom Facebook group. I can take no credit for this, but I'm very excited about it. So yesterday, one of our group members, Ian, made a post and said, hey, wouldn't it be great if all those of us who haven't yet quit smoking all got together and decided to make our quit at the same date at the same time? What a great idea. As far as I know, a date hasn't been set yet, but if it's okay with the group, I'll pop up on here and let you know when that is kicking off. But for now, if you would like to join in, and I'm sure Ian and the rest of the group would love for you to join in, you can join us at facebook.com/groups/findingfreedom1. For now though, let's dive back into the subject of today's video, which is dreaming about smoking. Why do we do it? Why it's harmless? How can it be helpful? One of the reasons why we can worry about dreaming about smoking is that we can get wrapped up in this old idea that dreams represent hidden desires or urges. It isn't really the case. It's not the case that if we dream about smoking, then it means we secretly harbour some hidden desire or some hidden urge to smoke. Although that's not true, it's easy to understand why we can have this idea when for so long one of the prevalent theories about dreams and why we have them came to us from Freud and his book, The Interpretation of Dreams. Freud said that dreams were all about wish fulfillment and about, desires and hidden desires and secret urges. And that although some of our desires and urges were relatively benign and innocent, others were so unacceptable to our conscious mind that we couldn't allow ourselves to think them or feel them in our day-to-day waking lives. Then we'd go to sleep and these secret, hidden, unacceptable wishes would come out through our unconscious mind. But because they were so unacceptable, they'd come out in a kind of disguised, distorted, symbolic form rather than just being laid bare. Here's this really unacceptable thing that's really obvious. It was always disguised and symbolized, which explains why, well, it doesn't explain, but would explain the theory behind why we have such bizarre dreams, why we have dreams that don't seem to make any sense on the surface. But even if that were true, then it would mean that we can rule out smoking dreams as being any kind of hidden desire to smoke, because most of the time our smoking dreams aren't disguised, distorted and symbolized. It's not like I had a dream that I was naked riding a dragon and then I had to go and build a go-kart with my ex-landlord and that shows that I have a hidden desire to smoke cigarettes. That never happens. If we dream about smoking, most of us just tend to dream about smoking. It's very obvious and laid bare for us. So even if Freud's theory had any ring of truth to it, it's unlikely to apply. It's unlikely to mean that we have a desire to smoke. And the fact is that Freud's interpretation of dreams as wish fulfillment has been largely discredited and debunked, and nobody really believes it's true anymore. But I think even if you'd never really heard of Freud, you've probably picked up on this idea in the past, which is why so many of us can think that. But although it has been debunked, more recent studies have shown that there might be some element of truth that our dreams are showing us things we're trying to ignore in our day-to-day lives. And it's not necessarily a desire. It could just be, you know, if we're quitting smoking cold turkey, and it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna not think about cigarettes, not look at cigarettes. Anytime I'm near a person with a cigarette, I'm gonna get away from them. I can't acknowledge cigarettes because I'm on this single-minded mission to avoid them. So if we're spending so much time avoiding them, then that may be one reason why we're having those dreams, because it's cropping up. The studies that were done, this has nothing to do with smoking, I just found it interesting. The study that was done, they took a group of people and they said to these people, identify someone you know. So like a partner, a family member, whoever it may be. And then before you go to bed each night, do 5 minutes of just stream of conscious writing about anything that comes to mind. And they said this to the whole group, and they said, so they split the group into 3. They said, so one group, whatever you do when you're doing this stream of conscious writing, don't think about that person that you've identified. They told the second group, whatever you do whilst you're writing, definitely do think about that person. And they told the third group, you know, do whatever you want. And the group who were told not to think about their person whilst they were writing before bedtime had far more dreams about their person than the other 2 groups. So we're trying to, you know, really not think about something during the day, then there is a chance that it can come up in our dreams. Of course, that barely scratches the surface in terms of explaining what might be going on when we are dreaming about smoking, especially if those dreams are occurring in the first days and the first weeks after our last cigarette, when it's not the case that we're not thinking about cigarettes, when it's more likely to be the case that we are thinking about them more. We're thinking about smoking, or at least thinking about not smoking and how to do that. You know, we're actively engaged in the quit process, feeling all of the feelings that come with it, doing more research about how to get through one end of the day to the next without a cigarette. You know, maybe we're talking to people more about our quit. Maybe we're engaging in the Finding Freedom group. Maybe we're just listening to videos because we found this handsome blonde gentleman on YouTube who talks about quitting smoking. I'm just joking. But yeah, so we're probably thinking about it more, and then when we go to bed at night, put our head on the pillow, those thoughts seep in. And that makes sense, but there's maybe possibly even more going on. Because when we are actively engaged in our quit, we're probably thinking about those withdrawals and those cravings and all the side effects that can come as a result of quitting smoking, and how those are making us feel. It might be making us feel pretty unpleasant, pretty uncomfortable. Then we go to bed at night and our subconscious mind kicks in and tries to help. And the thing is, the subconscious mind doesn't realise that we're doing this on purpose. It doesn't realise that although those withdrawal symptoms are uncomfortable and are unpleasant, we're going through them on purpose, deliberately, because we want to be free from smoking. All it knows is, today felt crap. Today was uncomfortable, it was unpleasant. Wonder what we can do to make that better. And the subconscious mind will throw up suggestions. Here's how you could feel better, because that's what it's there for, to protect us. So it starts showing us in dream form cigarettes, smoking, because for so long we conditioned ourselves to believe that if we felt bad, we smoked. And especially if we felt the kind of bad that comes as a result of not smoking. So the subconscious mind goes, I know how to fix this problem. Have a cigarette. Let me show you these cigarettes in dream form. This might even explain why some people have dreams where they're enjoying smoking. I know it's more common for people to say that they had a dream about smoking and it was more of a nightmare. They felt awful, they felt ashamed, they felt really bad about the fact that they were smoking in this dream. And then they wake up in the morning and go, oh my goodness, that was awful. These tend to be more common, and it's easier to see what could be going on here. Because if we have a dream about smoking and it's bad, you know, this is more likely to just be reinforcement that we don't want to smoke. That we don't want to do this. So we're in our back of our minds, we're just reinforcing this idea, smoking is awful, and if I do it, I will feel awful. So keep doing what I'm doing in terms of my quit. But then there are those people who say, well, I had a dream about smoking and it was even more scary because I was enjoying it, because I did like it. So that must mean that I still want to smoke. No, it's more likely going back to this idea of the subconscious mind throwing up suggestions, throwing up solutions that can be helpful to us to make us feel better. Again, we spent so long conditioning ourselves to believing that cigarettes made us feel better. So if we're feeling crappy because of our quit, then the subconscious mind is not just showing us a cigarette, it's showing us, hey, have this cigarette and feel better and you'll enjoy yourself. Of course, when we wake up and we get back into the conscious mind, we know that that's not true. We know that there are thousands of ways to feel better without cigarettes. That's a good idea for a video, actually. But yeah, so we know that not, but that could be why we're dreaming about enjoying cigarettes, because it's the unconscious mind trying to show us, hey, this is what you used to do to feel better. And we can take this and we can apply the same ideas behind why we might still be having smoking dreams months, years after we quit smoking. I looked around for research and for studies into smoking dreams, and there isn't that much, sadly. But I did find one study that was done all the way back in 1991. It's like a whole of a lifetime ago now. And this was come on, Chris. This was a study about, specifically about smoking dreams. And they found that of those people who they studied that had abstained from smoking for at least a year, 63% of those people reported having smoking dreams, and reported having at least a quarter of those smoking dreams beyond the 6-month point. So after they quit smoking for 6 months, that was when they had at least a quarter of those dreams. So although it's been many, many years, 30 years since 1991, it's still indicative of the fact that smoking dreams are pretty common, even a year after we quit. It's been a good couple of years for me, and I still occasionally dream about smoking or about cigarettes. In fact, just last night, I had a dream that I was at my nan's old house and I had to hide my Marlboro Lights, which I never smoked anyway. And I'm perfectly okay with that dream. It makes a lot of sense to me, because I spent most of this week thinking about what I'm going to include in this video. This YouTube channel I started the same year that my nan passed away. Some of the first cigarettes I ever had, I stole from my nan. That's just awful, isn't it? But that's what I did. So it makes absolute sense to me that this, it would just crop up in my dream. But sometimes if I'm dreaming about cigarettes or about smoking, and it's happening fairly regularly, then I start to think about, okay, am I stressed? Am I upset? Am I worried? Am I nervous? Is there something going on in my waking life that I'm not tackling or not tackling sufficiently? Because again, it could be that if I'm dreaming about smoking, it's showing me I'm stressed. Here's a way to deal with stress. Because for so many years, my default reaction to stress was to smoke a cigarette. For so many years, my default response to being sad, mad, or feeling bad was to smoke a cigarette. So if I am stressed, sad, mad, or feeling bad now, and I'm not tackling it properly, it makes sense to me that my dreams will occasionally throw up here. Smoking is one way that you used to deal with this. But then I can wake up and go, well, that's how I used to deal with it, but things are much better now, and I don't have to, because there are so many better ways to feel better without smoking. And it's the first thing that I say to people now when they ask me about smoking dreams is there something going on with you that you are stressed about, or that you are worried or concerned about? And it might not even be something on the surface. It might not even be, well, yeah, I'm having a really tough time at work. You know, it can be on the surface, everything seems fine, but there's something, you know, a bit lower down, that a bit hidden, that I'm not quite tackling properly. So if it's been a year, if it's been months since we quit smoking and we're still having smoking dreams, it is not the subconscious saying, I still think you should smoke. It's the subconscious saying, something is bothering you and you need to tackle it. You know, it might not even be the case that it's saying you need to have a cigarette. It is just saying there is something that you need to tackle. And this is useful and this is helpful. If we can wake up in the morning and do some journaling, or talk to someone, or just reflect on that dream and go, what's going on for me? Am I worried about something? And what's a more helpful way to deal with it? I will say, just before I wrap this video up, that I am going to link to my guided hypnosis track that I put out last year, something that we worked on when I was studying to become a hypnotherapist, and it is designed to help you sleep better and relax more. So if you're finding that you're having more smoking dreams than normal, if you're having more nightmares than normal, then try listening to that recording for, you know, just before you go to bed, and see if it just helps you sleep better. Thank you so much for watching today. I feel like we've covered a lot and yet still barely scratched the surface on smoking dreams. But just to sum up, they are harmless. It is probably trying to be helpful rather than any kind of secret urge to smoke. And you know, we can use our smoking dreams to reflect on what's going on for us in our daily lives. Is there something that's bothering us that we might need to tackle in a productive and healthy way? Again, the Finding Freedom Facebook group is facebook.com/groups/findingfreedom1. As soon as I know what date everyone is going to do the group quit, if it's all right with the group, I will let you know. I'm still going to do my live stream on the 27th. I will put a notice about that out this week. I just forgot to do it last week. If you enjoyed this video and you want more tips and advice on quitting smoking, then I do have my book. It is called Quit Smoking and Be Happy, and there's at least 3 chapters on sleep. There is a chapter on insomnia, there is a chapter on sleeping too much, and there is a chapter on smoking dreams. Whew. Finally, just to say thank you again. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you next week.